Alrighty, boys and girls, today we are going to do our integer rules. This is going to be for our 7th grade pre-AP class. So your objectives. Students will be able to simplify integers using specific rules determined by operations provided within a problem. And I like this picture here because it gives you your negative numbers on your negative integers, your positive integers, and then it talks about the origin, 0 being that origin, which is true when you start getting on your ordered pairs, that Cartesian plane, when you have the x and y axis. That's nice to know that origin point. Also, remember that integers are rational numbers. Whole numbers are also integers. So, adding integer rules. Same sign, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Okay, you know the song. So, same signs, if it's a positive, you're going to get a positive answer. Negative and negative, going to get a negative answer. That's it. It's the simplest we have. Let's keep going. Different signs, subtract. Alright, so we talked last year a little bit about this, but this is called the keep, change rule, and I kind of called it as the squinty man. So you look right here. If you're going to take a -7 minus a -4, this minus a negative is going to become a plus sign. So when it says keep, change, you're keeping that first one. Nobody's affecting it. And then because you have this negative next to the negative, that becomes a big old plus sign, or you could think of it as two pluses. Change, depending on how you remember it best. Now we're already done adding and subtracting. Let's move into multiplying integers. If you're going to multiply an integer, if the signs are the same, multiply them, and your product will be positive. So if they're both positive, your answer is positive. If they're both negative, your answer is negative. So a -4 times a -2 will be a +8. See if you got that one right. Moving on. If the signs are different, multiply, and then the product will be negative. So you've got a positive and a negative, negative answer. Negative and a positive, negative answer. And I think when I taught this, I basically said if you have an even number of negative signs, it's going to become positive. But if you have an odd number, like the number 1, it's going to be negative. If you had 3 different things you were multiplying, and 2 of them were negative, that's still an odd amount. No, wait. 2 is an even number, isn't it? So if you were multiplying 3 things, and 2 were negative, you get a positive answer. That's right, because that's an even number. An even number of negative signs is positive. An odd number of negative signs is negative. Simple enough. Moving on to the dividing integer rules. These are identical to the multiplying of integer rules. Yay, they're the same. So, if they're the same, divide, and the quotient is positive. So if it's two positives, it becomes positive. 2 negatives, that's an even number of negatives, positive answer. So -2 divided by -2, wait for it. Did I say -2 divided by negative? A -4 divided by -2, wait for it. 2! Had to think about that one for a moment. Alright, now what if they're different? Same as your multiplication. If you have 1 positive and 1 negative, that's an odd number of negative signs, negative answer. A negative and then a positive, same situation, that's still an odd number of negative signs, negative answer. So a -8 divided by a +2 will be, let's hope you got a -4. Oh, whack-a-mole. That's a game we can play in class to review this. Remind me later. Make sure you've done your Cornell notes. You have your objective and your summary. You have to go back if you need to and find 2 vocabulary words. Hopefully that was simple enough, but these are your basic integer rules. Thank you.